What is my professional identity? Who am I? Why did I become a nurse? Where am I headed next? You might expect me to start by explaining that I'd always dreamed about this job. But the truth is, I was a very unmotivated teenager. Not only did I not know which profession I would end up in, I really didn't care. I had great parents, but they were total workaholics when I was young, and I really wanted no part of the baggage they carried. A job to me was a way to pay the bills, and really nothing more. While I was trying to figure out what my major would be, as I was applying for college, last minute of course, like everything else in my life, my dad had a heart attack. I was like 17. He and I were just goofing off at his apartment 2 nights before. I mean, it was sudden. He wasn't that old, and I was pretty scared. So we loaded up and went to the hospital. I'll never forget his nurse, though. A dude named Abe, like Lincoln. My dad was laying in the hospital bed. This nurse had plenty of tasks to do. The situation was pretty unstable, but he just made it look like he had the whole thing under control. On top of that, we must have asked him 100 questions, and he found the time to answer every one. He asked me if I was in school, and I told him I was applying, trying to decide on a major, and he said to me, "Well, let me tell you why you should be a nurse." He told me about all the opportunities it would present me, that I could choose one of so many specialties, change my mind if I wanted. He talked about how challenging but rewarding a profession it was. I said, "That sounds really cool," but in my head I was actually thinking, there's no way I could ever do what you do. That conversation didn't persuade me too much. It did convince my mom, though, and a few days later she told me, "You're going to apply for nursing school," which is kind of funny thinking back. If you're curious about how my dad did, he ended up having a 4-vessel cabbage, and he lived. He's just fine today, thanks to the amazing staff at that hospital. So I got accepted into nursing school, and I kid you not, I was realizing in my head, I don't even really know what a nurse does. And that was just a foretaste of how the program would go. It was really hard for me. I barely made it through maternal child by like a point, and a couple of times I came as close as you can come to not making it, but I made it through. The truth is, after I got my associates in nursing, that's when my desire to be a nurse sprouted. Something changed. If I ever got kicked around by nurses more experienced than me, I used that as fuel to learn what I didn't know. I made it a goal to predict all the worst things that could happen to my patients and prevent them. And by the end of that first year, I was hungry for more. I got into critical care. After a while of doing that, I wanted to take care of the sickest patients. I was on the code team, rapid response team. I spent 9 years in the ICU, eventually became a travel nurse, went to 13 different hospitals over 4 years, all critical care and emergency medicine contracts. Nursing has changed my life. That's easy to say. I've seen things I never thought I'd see, good and bad. Nursing has allowed me to travel. I met my wife in a state very far from home. This profession has given me purpose. It's taught me compassion. It's forced me to be more organized. It's turned me from a wanderer into a leader. The original question was, who am I? I can honestly say, I would not be who I am today if I wasn't a nurse. As a nurse, I'm a guardian and a strengthener of the physical and emotional health of others. I'm a medical expert, a comforter, a caretaker. I'm a problem solver, an educator, a mediator, a dreamer, and a member of something bigger than myself. But this is not just a history lesson. My story is still going. I've enrolled now in UNCW's BSN program, and this is an opportunity to take my identity as a nurse one step further. The associate's degree I've already earned was very skill-heavy. It was a good introduction. This BSN program, though, will build on that by doing a few things. Number one, it's going to increase my knowledge, which improves my ability to educate others and better guides my on-the-job actions. All in all, it's going to mean that my patients and coworkers will get a better me. And also, I'm going to be learning through this program to come at the profession from a different angle. I'll learn how to better use research to find answers, how to rely on evidence to back my actions. And this world is always changing, new findings are always emerging. This BSN program will better prepare me to roll with those punches. I'll be participating in the elevation of the nursing profession as a whole through higher education. It's interesting because a few months ago, a management level position opened up at my job. Some people asked if I had applied. I couldn't, of course, because a bachelor's was required. But even beyond that, I didn't feel ready. I'm confident that through this program, apart from now being able to apply for things like that, I'll be picking up the knowledge and skills that I need to feel ready should an opportunity like that present itself again. The beauty of nursing is it's a science, but it's also an art. It's a very data-driven, numbers-oriented, rule-following job. But as you progress in this career, you learn the art side of things. That sixth sense you feel when something's about to go wrong. The ability to make judgment calls in a snap. A discernment for what the right thing is when two choices maybe seem wrong. And the balance of head and heart, control and compassion, intelligence, and interpersonal exchange. I landed in this field like Gonzo from the Muppets landed on this planet. So, what does the future hold? Where will this degree take me? I don't know. Just like I didn't know I'd end up here.